Good morning, students. Welcome to day 3 of our lesson. Summarizing the text with supporting details. Day 3 of our lesson on summarizing text, identifying supporting details. How's everyone doing? Follow your dreams. Objective 8.6i, summarize the text, identifying supporting details. The big picture. Summarizing information in text has several uses for students. It teaches them to determine the most important ideas in a text, ignore unimportant information, and connect the main idea and key details of a text in a logical way. Summarizing also helps improve memory and comprehension of a text because students are required to focus on only the most important points. Learning objectives. In this lesson, students review the various informational nonfiction text structures. They will apply this knowledge to the skill of summarizing information text. Students will identify the components of informational nonfiction text structure, determine the main idea of a nonfiction text, identify key ideas and details of a nonfiction text, and summarize information in nonfiction text by using repeated words. Vocabulary. Nonfiction, prose writing that is not fictional, designed primarily to explain, argue, instruct, or describe rather than entertain. Summarize, to provide a short, concise explanation of a text's major ideas. Text structure, the way a text is organized. Chronology, time order. Snapshot, you and a friend are in the park. It's such a lovely day. You both decided to go jogging. After running about a quarter of a mile, you embark upon several trash cans spewed all over the green grass. There are young children in a lake in the park. This is unacceptable. Describe your actions about this chaos. What are you prepared to do and why? This is your snapshot this morning. I'll give you a few minutes to write on it. Okay, let's continue. Practice. Click on the link below, read the articles, reread and annotate the article. Use a highlighter to mark the important information in the articles. Study your information and create your summary. Comparing two nonfiction texts, what to do with waste. Using two information texts on the same topic, complete the graphic organizer. Text 1. If someone asks how you can make the environment a better place, what do you say? A common answer is reduce, reuse, and recycle. There are many organizations that help us do those things. They help us throw trash into garbage cans instead of on the ground. They help us remember to turn off the lights when we are not using them. There are groups that help us donate clothing so that it can be reused by someone else who needs it. But have you ever wondered what happens to the used soap after a guest stays in a hotel room? Instead of letting it go into the trash, Echo Soap Bank recycles it for people who need it. Soap is an important part of good hygiene. It prevents disease, but many places around the world do not have soap. These communities have more sickness than other communities. Echo Soap Bank has the goal of helping these places have access to soap in order to improve health. Echo Soap Bank collects used soap and sanitizes or cleans it. The organization makes it into new soap. They donate the new soap to hospitals. The Echo Soap Bank gives soap to schools, communities, and clinics. They also give it to other groups of people that are working in countries where soap is needed. Together, they make sure the people have education and materials they need. Then they can have good hygiene and health. The groups train the communities how to correctly wash their hands. Good hand washing helps the communities stay safe against diseases and sicknesses. Recycling makes our world a better place. People can help out in many different ways. There are organizations that focus on different parts of recycling. Each one helps the environment and world be a healthier place. Text 2. From a young age, we are taught that littering is bad. We learn that the 3 R's are reduce, reuse, and recycle. They are etched in our brains. We know that we should be kind to our environment, but what else do we do? There are many organizations that have the goal of keeping our world a beautiful place. Keep America Beautiful is an organization that educates people about how to take action. They teach us how to keep communities green and healthy, places for people to live. Keep America Beautiful inspires people to help out. They get people excited about helping. Keep America Beautiful has three major goals: end littering, improve recycling, beauty America's communities. End of littering. Littering is when trash is thrown onto the ground instead of into a trash can. Litter makes an area look and smell bad, and it is harmful in many more ways. Litter often ends up in the oceans, which is dangerous for sea life. Litter is expensive to clean up. Keep America Beautiful wants to teach people how to end littering. Improve recycling. To make recycling successful, Keep America Beautiful wants to teach people why it is important. They want people to know that they should care about recycling and how to do it. They want recycling to be easy for people at home, at work, and while they are out and about. Recycling should be convenient for people. Beautify America's communities. A beautiful community is one that is green and full of growth. Keep America Beautiful works to plant seeds and trees. They create community gardens that grow fruits and vegetables. Efforts to save forests, reduce graffiti, and prevent plant disease are all part of the Keep America Beautiful mission. Activity 2. Today we will read and discuss the article on Harlem Renaissance. After discussing the article, write a summary using the important information. Use your highlighters to identify important events. Remember, only write what is important. I will assist you where assistance is needed. I have highlighted some important details. Let's view the next slide. The Harlem Renaissance, a tremendous explosion of creativity, rocked the United States in the 1920s and 1930s, and it took the name of the New York City neighborhood of Harlem. Historical background: the Harlem Renaissance, also known as New Negro Movement, was a period of great cultural activity and innovation among African American artists and writers, one that saw new artists and landmark works appear in the fields of literature, dance, art, and music. The participants were all fiercely individualistic talents, and not all of the time did they not all the time they saw themselves as being part of a movement. But in writers such as Conti Cullen and Langston Hughes, painters like Jacob Lawrence and Romare Bearden, and musicians and composers such as Duke Ellington and Bessie Smith became widely known as members of the Harlem Renaissance. Much of the foundation of the Harlem Renaissance was laid by earlier generations of African Americans, educators, students, and intellectuals. In the decades following the Civil War, many racial barriers to education were removed, and African Americans took advantage of the new education opportunities in great numbers. Dozens of African American colleges and universities were found, and African American professors and other intellectuals took increasingly public roles. By the early 1900s, intellectual leaders like W.E.B. Du Bois and James Weldon Johnson were writing, lecturing, and being published in journals such as Chris and the Messenger. At the same time, African Americans were moving in huge numbers from the South to northern industrial cities like New York, where they could find work and escape some of the institutionalized discrimination and mistreatment caused by the South's Jim Crow laws. Innovative young African American writers, painters, and musicians began gathering in a number of neighborhoods in Manhattan, including Harlem and Greenwich Village, working together and developing new ideas. And in the years after World War I, gained national attention. Some of the most prominent works created during the Harlem Renaissance were in the field of literature. Zora Neale Hurston, Claude McKay, John Toomer, and Langston Hughes produced novels, poetry, short stories, and memoirs. Hughes Hurston produced important work in a number of fields. An anthropologist and folklorist, she studied with the eminent anthropologist Franz Boas at Columbia University and used the music and stories that she collected as a folklorist to inform her novels, plays, and other books, including Muse and Men and Their Eyes Were Watching God. She also performed music based on her folkloric research and has left a number of recordings along with her manuscript. Langston Hughes, best known as a poet, also wrote plays, a, also wrote plays, a novel, short stories, and an autobiography. Many of his poems were set to music by African American composers, and he collaborated with Zora Neale Hurston on a play, Mule Bone, a play called Mule Bone. This primary source set includes a poem written by Hughes as well as a page of long, as well as a page of a song based on one of his early works, The Negro Speaks of Rivers. I have highlighted some areas in this piece so that you can see what is important in this piece. These are some important supporting details for this article on the Harlem Renaissance. Discussion, fostering thought, talk, and inquiry creates a well-planned summary. First, let's think about what we read and use our strategies to foster the summary. Sounds delightful. Second, talking is truly a plus, whether it's a group or individual. Talking assists you in deciphering what is needed and what's not needed, almost like baking a cake. Third, question whether you're making the right decision of what to throw out and what to leave in. Always stay on top of that dirty word plagiarism. We certainly want to keep a grip on using our own words and not someone else's words. Further, do not use opinions in writing a summary. We have covered much information over 3 days. Only 2 more lessons to go. I'm excited about our last 2 lessons. Concluding, summarizing students, concluding, summarizing teachers, students, how to pick out the most important details in a text and weed out irrelevant information and integrate the central main information in a positive way. Summarizing enables students to comprehend meaningfully. Exit ticket. Today you will enter exit tickets before exiting. Use the prompts on the picture on the left hand of the screen. What did you learn today? What did you find tricky? What can we do next time? Until the next class lesson, continue practicing summarizing the text. The swerve of the pen is a feather floating through the clouds. Hasta la próxima.